when my mom had her C-section with my brother. She was around 3 weeks postpartum and she felt like totally fine. She decided to go grocery shopping. She was bringing in the groceries and just started bleeding like crazy. Hey everyone, and welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie. Today I'm going to be talking about something super fun, C-sections. In case you don't know, I did have a C-section with my 7-month-old daughter, and it honestly went really well for me. It was obviously hard, but the recovery was actually better than I expected. So today I'm going to be kind of going over ways that you can prepare for your C-section. And if you're not having a C-section, you can just watch to be educated. If you are getting a C-section, this video will really help you to know how to prepare and what to expect after you get your C-section. So one thing that's really good to know is that you're not going to be able to walk right away. That might be kind of obvious, but you do get an epidural, so you're numb basically from your shoulders down. So you're not able to walk until it is fully worn off. So nurses will come in and check you. They'll put ice packs on your legs to see if you can feel it and see what parts of your body are still numb. Once your body isn't numb anymore, they really encourage you to get up and walk, because one risk with C-sections is that you can get a blood clot, especially in your legs. So they want to avoid that by getting you up and walking, which is also very good for your recovery. In my experience, it took me, I can't remember exactly, but I think it took me about 8 to 10 hours for me to get to walk. So I was just in bed that whole time waiting for everything to wear off. I did have a catheter, so I didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom. But once I was feeling totally back to normal, they had me up right away. And they took the catheter out and I got to get up and go to the washroom. It's really important to remember to get up and walk here and there. Obviously, you don't want to push yourself, but it's really important to get up, get walking, get the blood flowing, get your muscles moving, because it is a very important thing for your recovery. And I do feel like one reason why my recovery went so well is because I did get up and I did walk often. I didn't push myself, but I did do my best to get my body moving and start getting it back to normal. Also, when you do walk for the first time, it will be hard. Don't feel bad if it takes you like a minute to move like just a couple feet. I was very slow when I started because I was quite sore, and I was also very nervous to like burst any stitches. So really just take as long as you want, take all the time you need, just don't push yourself. You will bleed a lot. That's a common question with C-sections, is a lot of people aren't sure if you do bleed. Yes, you do. With a regular natural birth, you bleed a lot. I feel like most people know that. But with C-sections, you also bleed just as much, if not more, because you're getting that incision through your uterine tissue. That does cause some bleeding. And then also, with any pregnancy, there's a thick lining in your uterus that needs to be shed after you're done. So when your uterus is contracting and going back to normal size, it's also shedding lining, and it's basically just like a giant period. You're catching up for the last glorious 9 months you didn't have a period. And for me, it lasted for about 8 or 9 weeks, which is like awful. But it wasn't super heavy for that long. It was heavy for about a week, and then it lightened up, and I just spotted until about 8 weeks. So you will be discharged from the hospital probably after about 3 days. I was there for 4 days because I was having a lot of issues with breastfeeding, and I didn't feel comfortable leaving the hospital until I had that kind of sorted out. But standard, I think, is about 3 days, and then you can expect to go home. Now, when you go home, I think the hardest part was getting in and out of bed. You no longer have the luxury of that reclining hospital bed. Now you have just a flat bed. You have to get in and out of it. You have to bend your body. I found that probably the hardest part about recovery was just getting in and out of bed. For me, I felt a lot of tearing and ripping sensations. I literally felt like my incision was ripping open when I was laying down and getting up. And it was really scary because I wasn't sure if it was normal, but after talking to some nurses, I found out that it was. And you will probably also experience some bruising and stuff from, working those muscles. But obviously if there's any like crazy bruising, I would talk to your doctor because I am not a professional, so always take what your doctor says before what I say. It is very sore getting in and out of bed, so make sure that you do have your partner or your mom or your dad or a friend help you in and out of bed for that first week or so, because it can be really painful and stressful. And I would recommend for that, not like laying down and then sitting up. I would recommend kind of rolling onto your side and pushing yourself up with your arms and then getting out of bed. But just make sure you don't rush and you definitely take your time with that. Also, a good thing to know is that they do stitch and staple you up. You have multiple layers of flesh, tissue, like muscle, all that kind of stuff where they made the incision. So they will stitch up each of those layers with dissolvable stitches, and then they'll staple your top layer of skin. And I thought that it would probably be a few weeks before they took my staples out, but they actually took them out after only 5 days, which was shocking to me. If you can, I would push for at least another extra day before they take them out, because my incision did start to open just slightly, and it wasn't anything crazy, but they did have to tape it closed. So when they do bring up taking out your stitches, try to push it another day later, because I just didn't like having to have tape on me and worry about opening. Yeah, so I'm sure there's no harm in waiting a little longer. I do also want to give you a heads up. This was the case for me. I don't know if it would be the case for you, but the 4th or 5th day was like, I think it was the 5th day, was really dreadful for me. My milk came in on the 2nd day, and it was fine and dandy and everything, and then it came in full force on that 4th day, and I was super engorged on the 5th day. And on top of that, that was the peak soreness I had with my incision, because I wasn't staying on top of my meds. So make sure you're definitely staying on top of your meds, because it will get really, really sore within that first week if you don't stay on top of them. When you're in the hospital, nurses will come and make sure that you're taking your meds and monitor your soreness. So that's really nice. But when you go home, it's all on you to remember. So make sure you do that, because you'll just regret it if you don't. One thing that was really helpful for me was a belly band. So I purchased one of these just probably like a week before my C-section, because I heard that they really helped. And I used that after I got home from the hospital to kind of help me feel more together and less squishy, because after you have your baby, your organs just feel really loose. Everything feels loose. Your incision is just very sensitive. It's nice to just feel kind of secure. So I got a belly band that covered my incision and kind of went all the way up my abdomen, and it helped just bring me together and help me feel more comfortable, and it helped avoid some chafing from my clothing. So I would highly recommend, if your hospital doesn't provide one, I think in the States they often do if you get a C-section. That's what I've heard at least, but here in Canada they don't. I would purchase one beforehand just off of Amazon. I can try to find the one that I got on Amazon and link it down below. But yeah, it was really helpful. It just helped me feel good, helped me feel a little more sucked in. Also, I really need to press the importance of not lifting anything heavier than your baby. I broke this rule countless times before the 6-week mark, and I noticed a difference. My bleeding would get heavier, and I actually started passing really big clots, which is another thing you want to watch out for when you're bleeding. Is if you're passing big clots, you want to get checked. But anyway, I started passing big clots, and I noticed that like I was probably lifting things that were a little too heavy, and it's really dangerous to do because it can cause a hemorrhoid? Definitely not hemorrhage, and you definitely don't want that to happen. When my mom had her C-section with my brother, she was around 3 weeks postpartum, and she felt like totally fine. She decided to go grocery shopping. She was bringing in the groceries and just started bleeding like crazy. She had to go into the hospital. So just don't risk it. Even if you're feeling 100%, I would not recommend doing that until 6 weeks. And same with working out. Don't work out before 6 weeks. And even at 6 weeks, don't feel pressured to start working out right away. I know that I was dying to work out because I just wanted my body back and I wanted to feel strong again. But just take your time. I honestly didn't start working out until probably 2 or 3 months postpartum because I just didn't quite feel ready. So definitely take your time, give yourself time to fully heal. So I know a lot of people are curious about the scar. So the scar is going to be about 4 to 5 inches just on your lower abdomen. It's actually a lot lower than some people think. It's just right down, like right above your pubic bone. So if you were wearing like a swimsuit or underwear even, you probably won't see it. Unless you're wearing like super low-waisted underwear, you probably won't see it, which is really nice. I am like permanently numb above my scar for about like, I don't know, that much, like almost 2 inches. I'm numb, can't feel anything, and my scar at 7 months postpartum is still a little bit sensitive. It's not painful, but it is uncomfortable to the touch. So I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but in my experience, that's the way it has been, which isn't the best, but oh well. Another thing a lot of people complain about is the little pooch that you get above your scar. Some people get it really badly, other people not too bad. My pooch isn't actually that bad. I did have one in the first few months, but since then it's been getting flatter and flatter, which is really awesome. So just some big things I would like to encourage is make sure that you're getting help from people. I really think that what helped me so much with my recovery was just having people around that were helping me, helping with diaper changes, just holding her while I slept and rested, and helping me get in and out of bed. Make sure that you have people to help you, whether that's a friend or a parent or a partner. Also, make sure that you go on walks every day. I know sometimes it's hard, but I would really prioritize getting up, showering, putting a little bit of makeup on. Not that you need it, but sometimes it does help us to feel a little more human. Get out in the world, go on a little walk, just enjoy some sun. I know it's hard to make that a priority in those first few months, and it still is for me sometimes, but it really helps you to feel human. Postpartum is really hard sometimes. Most of the time, it's really hard, and we need things to help us feel a little more human. So I highly encourage you, get outside and enjoy the sun and the fresh air. It will really, really help you, I promise. Anyway, I'm gonna show you my C-section scar. Anyway, so like I said, I am 7 months postpartum. So I am like pretty healed, but I still have some redness, but it's really straight. It looks pretty good. It's getting like white in some spots, but like darker purple in others. So hopefully that evens out a bit. The pooch I was telling you about is just kind of like, it's actually more obvious on this side. I'll show you on this side. So I have a little bit of a pooch above my scar right there. It's hardly anything, but it is there. On this side, it's not as noticeable, but yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you have any questions about my experience with my C-section, leave a comment down below. And if you're not comfortable leaving a comment, you can always follow me on my Instagram. I will leave that link down below as well, and you can feel free to DM me and I will do my very best to get back to you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Click that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more videos. And if you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and stay tuned for more videos. Bye guys.